What's up, everybody? Mark with Coffee&Toys here, bringing you another G.I. Joe Classified Series figure unboxing and review. Today, another fun Cobra on the channel. We are going to be unboxing number 114, Big Boa. Let's talk about it. Big Boa, fan favorite of Cobra, not a favorite of this guy. Never had the toy as a kid. I don't even know if I saw the toy as a kid. As an adult collector, never really meant anything to me. I was like, okay, the guy with boxing gloves, the Cobra trainer, I get it. But, you know, if he's the Cobra trainer, he's not doing very good, because I've seen Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow kick the shit out of tons of bad guys in the comics and the cartoons. So if this guy's supposed to be training the Cobra forces to be better fighters, he's not doing too great of a job. All joking aside, though, he's a fun character. The classified figure looks really fun. I'm pretty excited to review him today. But before we get into the review of the figure, welcome to the channel. My name's Mark. I'm with Coffee&Toys. I drink coffee. I talk about toys. I collect anything from Masters of the Universe to G.I. Joe to Star Wars, Marvel Legends. Just anything that gives me the good feels, you know, with the nostalgia, because that's what they're selling to us adults in our 40s and 50s, right? They're selling us our memories back to us. And yeah, speaking of coffee, today I have soon to be hopefully a regular on the channel, coffeebrandcoffee.com. This is their light roast number 3. If you're interested, I am going to be joining their ambassador program, so stay on the lookout for a chance to not only enjoy a fresh cup of American from an American company, but also a chance to get a little bit of a discount. So look forward to that coming up very soon. But like I said, today's coffeebrandcoffee.com. It is their number 3 light roast. Very smooth. I just have it going through my Keurig. I have my own personal K-Cup. I get it pre-ground from them. And man, this is some actually really smooth coffee. So with that being said, yeah, we are at Coffee&Toys. I review these figures. I am primarily an out-of-box collector, if you haven't already noticed from the background. So what I'll do is we'll talk about the figure and the packaging, and then we'll remove it out of the packaging. We'll talk about the figure. We'll go over its accessories. We'll get it all accessorized up, and then I'll kind of give you my final thoughts on the figure and whether I think you should make that same purchase. And what you should do right now is make sure you like this video, hit the bell notification down below, make sure you set it to all notifications, because I do put out videos every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And for those of you that were expecting a Monday Marvel Comics G.I. Joe review, I apologize. My wife is out of town for business, so I don't have time to do videos. I figured I'd throw up this video today because I did manage to get both my sons asleep. And I'll try to double up on the Marvel Monday for next week. How about that? Sound good? We'll do issues 4 and 5 next week of the Marvel G.I. Joe Real American Hero run. But with all that out of the way, let's head on over and check out Big Boa. All right, here we have it. G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Big Boa in his plastic packaging. Again, they returned to this for 2024. Now, they will be changing the packaging once again. It's going to get a little more form-fitted. If you haven't already seen it with the Marvel Legends, I think the recent ones are going to be the Deadpool figures, the Wolverine and the Logan and the Deadpool figures. And then the newest figures announced for Marvel Legends all have this kind of condensed packaging. And I believe G.I. Joe is going that same route. But for now, we do have the plastic packaging back. We get some very nice artwork of Big Boa over here. We get the Cobra logo down in the lower left. And as you can see, we get Big Boa unmasked, I believe a first for the series. I don't believe we've ever seen Big Boa unmasked. The classified team over at Hasbro decided they were going to design him without his mask. You actually have I do not know if this is a separate head or a removable helmet. I guess we'll find out when we open it up. But you can see it's ages 4+. Moving in, I mean, it's standard packaging here. Moving to the side, we do see that he is number 114 in the series, and we do get his iconography down here, and I'll make sure to throw that up on the side there so you can review at your leisure. And once again, a completely worthless QR code. You've heard me say it once, I'll say it again. Hasbro, make the QR code. Go to the iconography page. This QR code's worthless. It just takes us to a link that says, do we want to play or do we want to buy stuff? I mean, we probably want to buy stuff, but we'd be much more entertained by having it go to the iconography. Now, spinning around to the back, I love what they've done with this. We see he's kind of in a cage fight, maybe a UFC style arena, and we can see that he does come with his helmet accessory, and he does come with alternate hands without the gloves on it, and they do have some blood on them, so very cool. Yeah, I'm digging this. Again, we get the iconography down here as well. We get the legalese, nothing too exciting on the bottom of the package. Spinning it over side, we get a larger view of that artwork, which is very good. And again, it seems like they've standardized on a character, or sorry, not a character. They've standardized on an artist or artist. But yeah, really digging it. So with that being said, here is our final look at Big Boa in the package. Let me get him out of this plastic prison, and then we'll see what this figure is really all about. Okay, here we have it. We have Big Boa out of the package, and ugly, ugly man. I mean, but that's the point, right? He's a boxer. He's a brawler. He is not supposed to be an attractive looking man. So actually, in this case, the head sculpt is fantastic. So as you can see, this guy has been beat up. He's got a little bit of shadowing going on. He's definitely got a cut underneath his eye. He's got a couple missing teeth. This guy is absolutely bonkers. And this is a figure that is on a bigger buck to make him a little bit larger. So I believe this is the same buck that is at least used for, not for the torso per se, but the arms are probably shared. They are pinned arms, so I'm going to assume they are shared with some of the older characters like probably Gung Ho, maybe even, whose arms are those? I don't think it's Sergeant Slaughter's. I think those are like Gung Ho's, maybe the newer Roadblocks. But yeah, moving down the body now, one thing that the Hasbro team did point out when this figure was first made is that it does have nipples. That's right. We have nipples on a character. I think this is the first character created in either Marvel, by Hasbro with nipples. Actually molded on nipples, not just painted on. But anyway, I digress. That's kind of a weird feature, but there it is. Of course, moving down to the waist, you can see this is an all-new waist. And all new legs. I mean, these, I'm sure they're going to reuse this a lot. It's just a simple paint added to it, and then new boots as well. So I'm sure they are going to try to make the most of this. Here's a nice close-up of those hands with the bloody wraps on them. So both hands are that way. Tell you what, those pinned elbows really are kind of an eyesore whenever you have these pinless legs. On the back, something interesting I found is that he has a peg hole for his back, even though he doesn't have any sort of backpack. So very interesting. I don't know if I would have elected to put it on there, but I'm sure they plan on reusing this, so that's why it's there. And yeah, back of the head, and of course his what do we call this thing? Whatever this device is with all these spikes, this cannot be good to wear. I mean, it seems like you'd catch your arm on the ones underneath, but they are sharp. Don't get me wrong, they are very sharp. But that being said, we've kind of went over the figure. Let's go over the accessories that come with Big Boa, starting with his alternate hands, which are these, they've kind of fallen apart, but we do get the boxing gloves. And of course, they just peg out of the wrist, and they do have two separate pieces. So these actually fell off when I pulled them out of the package, but it's to look and simulate that boxing glove. And I'll go ahead and zoom in so you can see this a little better. Maybe if my camera wants to cooperate with me today. There we go. So there you go. You can see we got the Cobra logo on it in black, and then they are white gloves with inside white, outside red. Very cool. And like I said, you just pop them in. That goes over it. So we'll accessorize it here in a minute. He's got a set of those. And then we get these crazy 90-pound dumbbells. Now, I mean, if this guy's curling 90s, you should be scared for your life. I don't even think The Rock curls 90s. But then again, this is Cobra, probably not the greatest of trainers. I mean, the guy's been beat up a few times. I seriously question Big Boa's abilities in the ring. Curling 90s cannot be good. If he's curling 90s, his arms should be a lot bigger. What do I know? I can't curl even half that, or probably even a quarter of that. That being said, the final accessory is, of course, his helmet. Get the focus to come back here. Here we go. And it is a separate head. It is not an actual helmet that goes over. You can see that it does have a peg there, and that's interesting. I don't know what that extra little opening is right on the side. I don't know. That's very strange. But this is the classic Big Boa helmet, and yeah, it's got those same spikes on it. never really knew what the helmet was for other than to mask his identity. If you guys know what that helmet's for, drop me a comment and let me know, why did he wear the helmet? What was that just supposed to be? Or is it just simply an intimidation factor? But yeah, that's all the accessories he comes with. Let's focus back on Big Boa himself. And yeah, I'm going to get him accessorized, and then we'll do a comparison with a couple figures, and then I'll give you my final thoughts overall on Big Boa. Okay, I have gotten Big Boa fully accessorized. I like him a lot more with the helmet on. Don't get me wrong, that head sculpt for the unmasked version is excellent, but I love him with the gloves on. I feel like this is Big Boa to me, not the unmasked one. But that being said, a couple things to note, just kind of give you a quick little show of him. These fit very, very snug on the wrist, and I liked it. It's actually a really good thing. And when you make sure you put these on, just because in case you don't know much about boxing gloves, you make sure that this is the inside part. It fits on really only one way, but it does look very, very good. And of course, with having this articulation, you can get him to a whole bunch of really neat poses, and I'll make sure to put up some alternate views of him. And yeah, I really like him. I did want to go ahead and bring out a couple other characters so you can just get some comparisons. So here is Roadblock, and they do share the same upper arm. So here, if I can get Roadblock, I might not be able to get him to stand because of this with Ma Deuce in his hand. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him to stand up. But I did want to show that they do use the exact same arms. It is a pinned arm, so that's why it's the same. And, yeah, and I also have, just for comparison's sake, I do have Sergeant Slaughter, who I feel is about the closest thing to take on Big Boa in this case. And I believe the arms are indeed different. I think Slaughter's arms are a little bit smaller. Let's just do a quick comparison of them. Yes, they are just a little bit smaller. Triceps are a little bit larger on Big Boa because he uses that Roadblock arm. But yeah, overall, I'm glad I got him. I ordered him with all the other figures when they came up for pre-order. So I'm glad to have gotten him. If I'm being honest, I just ordered him because he was a Cobra, not because I have any, super desire to own this figure. The guy doesn't even come with a gun. So I guess that's kind of one of the things. Yeah, the original figure didn't come with a gun either. He just came with his boxing gloves, his boxing bag, I believe. And that was it. They didn't add these accessories until the modern era version that came from the Figure Subscription Club, I believe. That's when they added the weights in. So I'm glad that we got the weights. I really feel like this figure should have some sort of pistol. I mean, you guys tell me in the comments. Do you think he should have came with a weapon? But again, a very fun figure, something different, and I'm all for that. Great that we got the alternate unmasked head sculpt. It's nice to kind of know what Big Boa really looks like underneath that mask to add to the mythos of G.I. Joe. But yeah, this figure should be available on Hasbro Pulse still. I can't imagine it being sold out. And if you check your local Targets, he's probably starting to show up there as well if you're more of a brick and mortar type collector. But with that all being said, make sure you like this video if you enjoyed the review. Really helps out the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button once again and leave me a comment. Did you pick up Big Boa? Are you going to wait till he goes on discount? All that fun stuff, because I am interested in knowing what you guys think about this figure. But that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Mark. You've been watching Coffee with Toys, and I'll see you later.